Because I know somebody is going to bring it up in the comment box, maybe, possibly, not likely, but covering my bases just in case. Yeah, I know I usually wear like a jersey or a hat or something to commemorate the fact we're talking about a sports movie, because for out of the 3 sports reviews I've done, there was like one movie where it didn't really seem like it warranted me dressing up in the appropriate attire, and let's be honest, nobody wants to see me wearing a women's gymnastics leotard. Well, okay, there's probably somebody out there that wants to see that, but those are probably the same people who want to see Dr. Robotnik naked, so, you know, to each their own, but you are kind of in a minority, just saying. This particular go-around, I'm not doing that. A, because, honestly, I don't own any basketball merchandise. In fact, A.5, I don't even like basketball. It's probably my least favorite of the big 4 here in the States. B, we're talking about Netflix's original series, Hoops, and trust me, that show does not warrant this level of enthusiasm. This show is just so bad. A wise old man once said, never judge a book by its cover, and I suppose the Netflix equivalent is never judge a show or a movie by its trailer. That being said, I watched the trailer for Hoops and knew right out the gate this show was going to be hot garbage. I get through my little 3-episode sampler, and lo and behold, I was exactly right. This show is hot garbage. If this is another Netflix animated series that starts out irrelevant and pointless and gross and stupid, like BoJack Horseman or F is for Family, and then it gets wicked heavy towards the end of the season and kind of makes you think, oh wow, this is actually a lot deeper than I thought. Yeah, I couldn't see my way past episode 3. In fact, I barely saw my way past episode 2. That's how bad this was. How I ever managed to make it to episode 3 and finish that, I will never know, because this show just sucked so much. The one thing I'm willing to give this show, the one thing, is that the animation and the character designs are adequate. Not good necessarily, but adequate enough for what it is. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not your average mysterious Mr. Enter type of guy who scrutinizes these sort of things, because I'm not an animation critic. I do like cartoons, but you know, it's not my life. I'm more of a all-around kind of guy when it comes to movies and TV, but from where I'm sitting, it's presentable, adequate, okay. Other words that mean average. Also, in terms of animated series centered around high school basketball, I mean, it's better than Legends of Chamberlain Heights, although, if we're being entirely honest, that is a very low bar, and you should really have a higher standard than that show. And that's about the only positives I have for this. Other than that, this show was just painful in how unfunny it was. The coach of the basketball team talks incessantly, just constantly about everything and nothing. Mostly nothing. He just keeps going on, and you just kind of wish somebody would tell him to shut up. In fact, I think several people do tell him to shut up, but then he just keeps going on a whole other tangent. Is this funny to somebody? I mean, honestly, I do appreciate verbal humor over visual gags, but there's a limit, and this thing passed my limit well into like the first 3 minutes of episode 1. I was just done with this show, and I was done with the coach, and I was just done. Also, I can't remember who said it anymore, but somebody once told me, you ever notice how juvenile adult animation is sometimes? And I suppose that's what you get when shows like South Park and Family Guy, and possibly Drawn Together, have kind of raised the standard for adult animation, and this is where you need to be, etc., etc. And unfortunately, we have yet to shake that stigma. It kind of looked like we had shaken the stigma, sorta, with BoJack Horseman and F is for Family, but for the most part, it kind of looks like we're still there. I'm willing to accept the possibility that maybe Big Mouth brought us back down to the original level, but that's a rant for a whole other day. Hoops pretty much does nothing to dissuade this trend. In fact, the very first episode is about the coach trying to buy a prostitute for an up-and-coming basketball player to join his team. I kind of find it funny we're all obsessed with a poster for cuties, but This is the thing that goes completely under the radar. Also, I don't know why this stuck out to me, but one of the players in Coach's locker room mentions Bang Bus, and it's like, part of me was like, that still exists in 2020? Bang Bus? Really? Dude, I remember that from when I was in high school, when one of the high school seniors was telling us about internet porn. I mean, imagine my surprise. I mean, for all I know, Come Knock Boots is probably still a thing. Don't judge me! Anyway, basically this show is annoying, the main character's obnoxious, nothing interesting happens, none of the jokes land. I am genuinely disappointed in this show, especially when you take into account that Ron Funches and Natasha Leggero are in the cast. I genuinely think those are pretty funny people, and I honestly expected better decision making from you guys. Overall, don't waste your time. 1 hat out of 4. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of Hatflix and Chill. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell to show that you mean it, and check me out on Twitter for more Tommy Teal Hat flavor goodness and future reviews. I'll see you next time.